The grand mansion stood tall on the edge of the city, its windows glowing like fireflies in the dusk, a symbol of wealth, power, and a life most people could only dream of, and inside its walls lived Richard, a self-made millionaire whose business empire had earned him not only riches but also the respect and envy of many. Yet despite the luxury that surrounded him, his greatest treasure was his little daughter Emily, a bright-eyed, sensitive girl who had lost her mother at a young age and carried in her heart a void that no material possession could ever fill. And Richard, though determined to give her everything, often struggled to balance the demands of his corporate life with the delicate needs of his daughter, which is why when Sophia entered his life, she seemed like the answer to his prayers, a charming, ambitious woman who captivated him with her elegance and confidence, and soon she became his girlfriend, someone who he thought could fill the empty place at his side and perhaps, one day, be the mother figure Emily desperately needed. But beneath her polished smile and graceful demeanor, Sophia carried a streak of arrogance, entitlement, and coldness that Richard could not see, though Emily sensed it almost instantly, for children often see the truths that adults blind themselves to, and the mansion staff, including the quiet but kind-hearted maid Isabella, noticed how Sophia's patience wore thin whenever Emily was around, but they kept their silence, fearing the wrath of a woman who had already begun to exert control over the household, until one evening when the storm within the walls of the mansion finally broke open in a way that would change Richard's heart forever. It began on a rainy night when Richard had been delayed at the office, leaving Sophia in charge of Emily, and while the child had only asked for a bedtime story, Sophia, more interested in scrolling through her phone and sipping her expensive wine, snapped at the little girl, calling her spoiled, ungrateful, and in need of strict discipline, her voice echoing like thunder through the hallways. And when Emily, her eyes brimming with tears, ran to hide in the corner clutching her stuffed rabbit, Sophia grabbed her arm roughly, shaking her in frustration, declaring that if Richard would not raise his daughter properly, then she would. And it was at that moment Isabella entered the room with fresh linens in her hands, her heart seizing in horror as she saw the child trembling in Sophia's grip, and without hesitation, she dropped the sheets, rushed forward, and pulled Emily into her protective embrace, her voice trembling but firm as she told Sophia that no child deserved to be treated that way. And Sophia, her pride wounded, turned her fury on Isabella, shouting that she was just a servant and had no right to interfere. But Isabella, holding Emily tighter, refused to back down, whispering to the girl soothing words of comfort as tears streamed down Emily's cheeks. And little did they know, Richard had returned home earlier than expected, quietly stepping into the doorway just in time to witness the shocking scene unfold before his very eyes, his heart pounding with disbelief as he saw Sophia's hand raised in anger and Isabella's arms wrapped protectively around his daughter, a sight that struck him with both rage and revelation, for in that instant, he realized that the woman he thought he loved was nothing but a mask, and the true heart of the home was the maid, who had shown more courage, compassion, and love than any jewel-wearing socialite ever could. And as he stepped forward, his voice like steel, demanding to know what was happening, Sophia froze, her face paling as she realized she had been caught, while Isabella bowed her head nervously, afraid she would be punished for overstepping, yet still refusing to let go of Emily. And Richard, seeing the fear in his daughter's eyes and the comfort she found in Isabella's arms, felt a surge of gratitude and admiration for the woman who had risked her position to shield the innocent. And though Sophia tried to twist the story, claiming Emily was disobedient and Isabella had misunderstood, Richard could no longer ignore the truth staring him in the face. And in the days that followed, as he reflected on the incident, watching Sophia's coldness grow more apparent and Isabella's kindness shine brighter with every interaction, a shift began deep within him, a shift that would set the stage for a love story born not out of wealth or appearances, but out of courage, sacrifice, and the purest form of devotion, the kind that could heal wounds no money could mend. And while this chapter of his life closed on a storm, it was also the beginning of a dawn that promised redemption, love, and the discovery of what truly mattered. Dear viewer, if this powerful journey of truth and love has touched your heart so far, make sure you don't miss the next chapter where the storm deepens, secrets unfold, and Richard must decide who truly deserves a place in his and Emily's life. So hit that subscribe button now, join us on this unforgettable journey, and let's continue together into Chapter 2, where destiny reveals its hand.